We're in today with the RTX Quadro 4000. I'm gonna take it to a spin in a couple of games. I mean, open world games. I'm gonna see how it's running. This is an 8GB VRAM GPU with 256 bits, 2304 shaders, with 1005 megahertz on the core clock, with 1625 megahertz on the memory clock. I'm gonna pair it up with this i9 10 Gen. Let's jump in and see how this video card is performing in a couple of games, in a couple of open world games. All right, let's start with Hogwarts Legacy and see how it's running here. We got some decent numbers from this video card, and first off, I need to see what settings we have. 1080p, NVIDIA Reflex low latency, and low details. Managed to average some nice FPS here. 44 FPS on minimals and 62 on 1%. It's quite a good number if you're asking me. 100 FPS on average on low details with this video card. It's quite a good number. On the system, the CPU doesn't get stressed because you can actually see it on 30% maximum with 60 degrees. Now I have to change the cooler for this i9 because it's only one fan, 120 millimeter fan, and in the future I have to put a bigger one. But the system RAM is 16.4 gig of system RAM. That's good for this PC because it's got 32 gig of memory. On the GPU side, because this is the party star here today, is 75 degrees with maximum fan on the GPU, 100%. 5,000 RPMs from this video card. On 5,000 RPM, the GPU managed to hold it on 75 degrees. That is really good. And with 125 watts TDP. It's a fantastic GPU, you know, and in this game, I think you have a lot of options if you are interested in 60 FPS in order to play the game with this video card. On the VRAM, only 3.7 gig of VRAM. So if you're increasing the details and lock it on 60 FPS, I think you will be quite ideal. Let's see what details do we have, and let's see how is it holding. Custom. It's got custom. Oh, I'm guessing the game is detecting the details that he wants from this video card. You know, so DLSS, balance, everything. It's all right. I'll take you. GPU, 99%. This is gonna be interesting. Seriously. Okay, so 70 FPS on average with 40 minimals and 57 on 1%. This is good. This is a good performance from this system. Seriously. Oh, it looks nice, much better. In the night is not okay. Don't ask me why my axe is full with blood. Try to catch Bambi. You know, so let's see. 50-60 FPS on 1%, 51 actually. With the CPU today, apparently it's doing starting to get loaded, you know, on 50 per maximum 50% because of the temperature. 68 degrees. That's when I know that the CPU is starting to work based on the temperature. Now on the GPU side, apparently we are getting 99%. You can actually see it from a mile. 77 degrees with 5,000 RPM, you know, barely holding to cool the GPU. But it's doing a really nice work with 5.6 gig of VRAM. 130 watts maximum. I think 125 I've seen the best on this video card. And I think it's going to be, how should I say, a great experience if you put everything yourself, you know, the settings, the one that you find, not the way it's recommended. It looks great, you know, it looks great, the settings, but I think it's gonna be much better if you make it your own. Let's jump into God of War and see how it's working with this system, especially with this video card, because I'm actually curious. So on the graphics, we're gonna keep it on low to see how we are deciding what to do. Render scale, apparently 100%, no DLSS, and 1080p. Looks fantastic on even on low details, you know, 60 FPS. think it's locked or something. 60 FPS limit. About off. 124 FPS, so on average it's a great number if you're asking me. I got like 9.2 gig of system RAM taken from the game with this combination, with 50-60% load on the CPU. I actually seen some 79 degrees on the CPU. That means it's getting hot, seriously, and I'm 100% it will pass 100 watts. If I'm interested to increase the details, then I will make sure that I will lock the FPS on 60 or 100 depending on the monitor that I have. Yes, in this situation the CPU is doing a fantastic job being under 70 degrees, 50% load. The TDP, I'm guessing it doesn't go 100% 100 watts because I forgot to put the meter for it, but the GPU is doing something that I was expecting. 124 watts on 5000 RPM, the GPU stays on 77 degrees, and exactly what I need. If it was passing around 80 degrees, I should have locked it in MS Afterburner and start getting the GPU hot. Now, on this situation, it's not reaching too much on the temperature, and neither the VRAM. 3.3 gig of VRAM, it's kind of cool, you know, but that's because it's on low details. And if I put more details, then it will get higher. But so the power consumption, so the temperature, in some situation, it's not worth it. Just lower the FPS and lock it, and that's it with the lock. Let me give you an example. So if I put it on 60 FPS, look at the GPU. 41% load on the core. 3.3 gig of VRAM, 100 watts consumption, 110 watts consumption, 75 degrees on the core, 9.3 gig of system RAM. And the temperature on the GPU keep dropping. 74, now 73, look. Nevertheless, there is an option. If you want to lock the temperature with MS Afterburner, you can lock it as a temperature, and the GPU underclocks itself in order to deliver that temperature. Hence why I put 73. See, 73 degrees. Okay, let's jump into Cyberpunk and see how we are doing with this. I've been in Cyberpunk for a very long time. I can't remember because it was a long time ago when I played with this video card, and my God, it was a fantastic experience. We are in, I don't know what resolution. Graphics, custom, I think I'm in low details. How about we go in ray tracing low? Let's see how we're doing. Ray tracing low details. 75 FPS. This is fantastic. I love the FPS. On ray tracing low details, apparently we get the core on the GPU with maximum 98% loaded. If I'm looking at the temperature is rising from 75 to 76. Even though the 5000 RPM on the GPU it's there, it still doesn't help. And I'm guessing this is the maximum TDP. Yes, 125 watts. Alright, if that is the maximum TDP, I'm guessing the temperature should be the same. So the FPS, it's quite ideal, but I need to see other FPS that are related to my GPU. 80 FPS on average, 29 on 1%. No, actually 60 FPS on 1% with 29 on minimal. Those are good numbers, seriously. And on ray tracing low, I got 4.3 gig of VRAM, and apparently managed to creep up the temperature to 77. The game managed to become very enjoyable with this type of system. Back in the days with this Quadro RTX, it would have been a horrible experience. But now, if you remember, I had a horrible experience. Now I'm getting some really nice numbers. It's very optimized on ray tracing. Apparently I can enjoy the game with decent FPS and decent details, and yeah, I like it. I like how it looks. I like how it runs with this video card. The numbers are exactly what I want. Averages, minimals, everything. Quality is good, and if I don't like it, I can still benefit from DLSS, you know. if there is something that I want to boost, put it on performance mode. I think this is now with quality DLSS because I use the ray tracing low as a preset. But I like how it's working. Even the temperature, even though I don't like 5000 RPM on the fan because I know it will damage the fan with time. But overall, it's doing the job. I can limit the FPS, lower the details, and I can get a decent experience with Cyberpunk. I think I have a problem. I don't know why it's lagging 25 FPS. I'm on DirectX 12, and I'm actually curious what settings I have. Seriously, is this ray tracing ultra? Let's put it on performance. I put it on as a preset with ray tracing. Yes. Ultra maximum, NVIDIA Hairworks off, motion blur, DLSS quality, DLSS activated, and ray trace global illumination performance. Let's see how we're doing. Display 1080p unlimited burst, 40 FPS. Oh my god, this is so bananas. I'm not judging, I'm not judging. 126 watts on the GPU, 74, 75 on the temperature, 4.2 gig of VRAM, and core is maxed out. Damn, son. It's not about the VRAM, apparently it's about the core. So you need a fast core on this DirectX 12 with this amount of details. It looks fantastic. I'm not joking. It looks fantastic, but you need a proper core in order to max out Witcher. In our situation here, you can do it without ray tracing, I'm guessing, but it's not fun to play this game. I think it's much better to have amount of details, you want details for this game. You don't want lagging. Very, very well, how shall I say, optimized game, considering it works with SLI and Crossfire. But in this situation with DirectX 12, not gonna lie, it's not my cup of tea, to have 40 FPS, 22 on minimals and 25 on 1%. The CPU doesn't help me, so what's the point? I want performance from this, and there is a lot of options, so you can choose from this game in order to get that FPS. But ray tracing on DirectX 12, apparently it's not an option. Let's try GTA 5. I think there's no point on actually bashing this system with GTA 5, but just for the fun of it, we're gonna go on maximum details and see how it's running. DirectX 11 on maximum details. I just realized VSync is on. We got 60 FPS. You know what? I'm gonna keep it here. 60 FPS, it's enough for me with this video card to play GTA 5 online. It looks fantastic. I don't want more, and I want to see how efficient this video card is and how efficient is the whole thing. 60 FPS, 43 minimals, 52 1%. Let's see if those numbers are there if I get on the street, on the main street. If it's staying there, the minimals, then I'm fantastic. But why I'm talking about this is because I like the efficiency on the GPU, 50 watts consumption. This is a very, very nice number if you're interested in having a low TDP GPU. You understand? So 5000 RPM because it's maximum because from the previous settings. Yeah, 5000 RPM because I maxed it because I was afraid to overheat the video card. And it's sitting on 49 degrees. This RTX Quadro 4000. You understand? It's kind of interesting to see this video card how it performs now because it's not on maximum load. The GPU managed to put the core clock under 1000 megahertz. Actually, it's 1.1 now, but a couple of minutes ago it was under 1000, and I was so happy to see this GPU perform like this. Efficiency is my middle name. I like the future of benchmark will be in efficiency. Seriously, in my book, I'm gonna look in more efficiency from this type of hardware. So yes, this is just confirming how much I like that idea. Overall, the idea of RTX Quadro 4000 with 8 gig, I want to say 4 gig, with 8 gig of VRAM, it's still a valid GPU. I mean, I can't complain, No, it's working. That's it. It's working. And it's very efficient. It's got a one pin connector in the back, so it doesn't consume a lot of wattage. I like the GPU. Overall, it's fantastic. There is no problem with this. I like how it's working. Open world, even with the new games, I will put it on low details. There is no question. It does the job. So it's just a question of settings and how much I can lower and block. 60 FPS and VSync is my friend in order to make everything work. Like in GTA 5. Actually, I should have done the same thing with every game what I've done in GTA 5. Kind of cool, actually.